Hey everybody, Ashby here. We're going to be talking about the document object model again, and this time we're going to be talking about the document body on load. And basically, every time we load up our HTML page, we load up our document object model in a sequence, right? So it starts from the top of the tree, loads that first, and then loads all the consecutive children elements after that. So we're going to be seeing how JavaScript interacts with that loading sequence. So right now I'm going to just add in a script tag right in the head. Script type equals text slash JavaScript. Close that out. And then we are going to console, let's console log our document body, right? We were doing that in the inspector, and it returned this body HTML for us, right? Well, let's see what happens when we console log it before the body actually loads in the sequence of the document object model loading. Let's go to our console. You'll see it returns null. There's no object to return, there's no value to return because it hasn't loaded in the page yet when we run our script. So let's comment this out for now. And let's just see what happens when we write some inline JavaScript. And let's use an alert this time. Body has loaded. Let's refresh our page. Body has loaded. Okay, so we were able to write this onload event listener, this very specific function to JavaScript, which is honestly a little weird to me. I would never do this professionally, but it's kind of a good example of using JavaScript to determine when our elements get loaded into the DOM. Okay, so let's move forward and let's just get this, let's make this a little bit more interesting. Let's grab our script tag, actually all of it, and let's add it right after our footer. And let's see what happens here. We're console logging our document body after our footer. Let's refresh. You notice it returns our body because it's already loaded, right? It even returns our JavaScript tag in there for us. Okay, so let's try that same onload event that we did inline, and let's do that internally. So let's document body onload equals alert our body has loaded, and let's see what happens. Let's refresh. Our body has loaded. So we were able to listen for that event, the body on load, and return that alert. But look at what happens. Cannot set property on load of null. That's interesting. Our alert still worked, but our console is still saying, hey, guess what? Document body is null, and you're running a function on it. That's really not the best way of doing things. So let's just provide one more example of things loading and trying to access them before they've loaded. Let's console log document get element by ID our paragraph. And let's console log our body. Why not? Okay, reload. Both of them are returning null. We kind of expected that to happen, right? Let's just grab our entire script tag and let's put it right here. right after a header. Let's see what happens. All right, we have our body. We still don't have our paragraph because our body is loaded, right? So we're able to console log that, but our paragraph is not yet loaded, so we're unable to console log that. So I think you might know what happens next. We're going to include the script right after the footer, and we're going to reload and check it out. We have our body and we have our paragraph, right? So let's check out a couple other interesting things. Let's console log our document body in our header, or after our header, and then after a footer, and let's see what happens. We get the same thing, right? But when we don't console log the document body here, let's just back this up a bit, and we console log it down here, and then we console log our paragraph as well. Let's see what it returns. This doesn't look the same as it just did, right? Check out that. That's a whole lot different. Same thing with our paragraph. So it's kind of just interesting what the inspector decides to return at different points. You know, sometimes we really can't anticipate the behavior. I mean, these are all things that we can access with JavaScript, but I won't go into that right now. Just wanted to show you the sequence of the body and how it loads, and let's move forward and talk about event listeners a little bit more in the next video. Thanks.